What up? Scott and Anthony asked me, Lucas McPoyle, to do this intro because they wanted this episode to be cool. Like me. Sometimes when you're trying to be hip, you gotta buck the trend. And right now, that trend is to buy allocated bourbons. That ain't cool. Why don't you go ahead and buy something that's on the shelf already? Follow along as Anthony and Scott give out their fire knowledge of these everyday bourbons that you can get in store right now instead of hunting for these allocated bourbons in part 2 of Between Two Barrels. That's a wrap. That take is hella cool. Next up we have Jack Daniel's Bottled in Bond, which is a new product from them. This is obviously 100 proof, $42.99. This is a 1 liter bottle because that's really all that's available to us right now. But this is going to be available to us year round, whether it be a 750 milliliter or a 1 liter bottle. Yeah, this is doesn't really have a rating on distillery just because it's so new. It did get Whiskey of the Year last year on whiskeyadvocate.com.
It deserves it.
It's $42.99. That's crazy.
It's crazy. That's a liter bottle for $42.99. I believe the 750s run $35, $37.99. This is for those of you that have a sweet tooth and like sweet oakiness. Don't get it confused. When I like talked about Yellowstone, I mentioned it being kind of nutty and peanutty and oaky, and then Russell's was more of that musty old church house kind of oak. This is going to be that sweeter oak. When I say it is like layers and layers of caramel, this is that base Jack Daniel's with a lot more oak sugars behind it. This would make a wonderful Manhattan. This would make a wonderful old fashioned. This will do delightfully in Coke. But with the added proof of being 50% alcohol, it also does great by itself. I kind of prefer it on a rock. It's maybe a tad bit hot without one, but that's for you to decide. It's really lovely. This is for guys that just want a ton of caramel with their whiskey. Now, I know you have been deceived slightly, as those of you more in the know will know. Jack Daniel's is not a bourbon, but this Tennessee whiskey and bourbon are very, very similar. The mash bill is going to be very similar to something you'd see in a bourbon. The one big difference is how it's filtered with charcoal. For anyone that is a whiskey enthusiast, this is one you really do have to try at some point, even if you typically haven't been a Jack Daniel's fan in the past.
So next up we have New Riff Single Barrel, and those that are unfamiliar with it, this is one of our best-selling single barrels that we do in store. We go through this super quick.
A lot.
Yeah, we're literally on a 3-month rotation with them. We buy a barrel, 3 months later we're on to another one.
Yeah, and they sell.
It's not like we're sitting on the old one. We are constantly burning through it. So
the one thing that really pops out that's different is I get a lot of fruit up front, but something else that's really cool about them is one, they use malted rye in their mash bill aside regular rye. That gives it this nice little chocolatey bit on the finish. If you're looking for that concentrated flavor, try this, because it's going to always be available and it's freaking delicious.
So it's $47.99 a bottle. This is another one. Everything New Riff does is bottled in bond. So it's a 100 proof Kentucky bourbon, 87 rating on distiller, 4-year-old bourbon. Touched on it earlier, but the thing that I've always enjoyed from this is every time we try a different single barrel, there's always a different little fruit note that you get from it. And that, to me, that's very enjoyable because it doesn't follow the same path that normal bourbons follow. So for the final one we got Ben Holiday Bourbon, $49.99 a bottle. 100 proof Missouri bourbon, first ever with that designation. Obviously this being a new one, this does not have a rating from distiller yet either.
This is really lovely. This is another all-rounder. This is for someone that likes spice, but likes the caramel, likes that sweet bite that bourbon can give. It's got an insanely good body. The thing that really sets Ben Holiday, apart from it being the first, I believe the first designated Missouri bourbon, is that it has a really rich kind of citrus orange oil quality to it that kind of brings all the other flavors and tampers them through. So if you kind of like that, you like that fruitiness, similar to the New Riff, but maybe a bit smoother, maybe a bit more caramel. It's gonna give you something that you can really sit on and explore. It's complex but not complicated. Really cool is I believe that Ben Holiday uses a portion of actually on land grown corn.
72% is Missouri corn.
Yeah, that's awesome.
The entire mash bill, the corn mash bill, is Missouri grown corn.
Pleasure of meeting the head distiller down in McCormick and all of the guys that are working on Ben Holiday. They are amazing guys. Their story, their product, some of the cool things they're working on that haven't been out in public, we are super excited. Their single barrel that we got in of Ben Holiday, it sold like wild, like hotcakes.
Yeah, we were talking about our new riff barrel. This thing, we could go on a 2-month rotation with this thing. I mean, we burned through it.
It's delightful. This actually, to me, drinks a bit like E.H. Taylor. I don't think it quite hits the impressions of sweetness that E.H. Taylor. E.H. Taylor is my favorite Buffalo Trace product for people that don't know. It doesn't quite hit the sweetness that I think E.H. Taylor does. I think E.H. Taylor is a bit bubblegummy on the finish, but the creaminess, the oiliness, and the beauty of its body are really, really, really nice.
And if you haven't been down to McCormick or to see their facilities, you need to go. So, all these bourbons we went over today, you can put them up against any of your allocated bourbons. And if you did them blind, I almost guarantee all of them will either beat them out or stand up right up against any allocated bottle that you're looking for. And again, these are going to be year-round, year-in, year-out. They're going to be on the shelf. You're going to come into Lucas, find one of us, find one of their Lucas crew will be able to help you find one of these wonderful bourbons and
I'm always kind of, when I'm here, I'm always kind of wandering around. Just find me and I'll take you to them.
But yeah, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're hoping to do a lot more of these. We would really like it if you guys help us push these around. Yeah, thank you again for watching, and we'll see you next time on Between Two Barrels.
This just adds more to the cutting floor, and so I apologize, future Anthony. Is that it's not necessarily. I just totally brain farted.
That's the power of editing, man.
Yeah. This is actually a lot better than what I remember. I typically edit that out.
Yeah, might as well try it out.
At the very least, you'll be mixing with Coke and love it. It's delicious.
Bleep that out. At least